We're going to start out with a quick overview of the DT Swiss 29er XMM 120 fork. It starts out with the tapered steer tube with the big oversized extra stiff mounting. It has a real nice hard coating on the fork stanchions, super heavy duty fork brace, real nice graphics. Good looking fork overall. This fork came with the twin shot handlebar controller. I've been asking for years to have handlebar control of your suspension, especially your rear suspension. It's just so hard to reach down and dangerous while you're riding to make suspension adjustments on the fly. So DT Swiss came out with this handlebar controller, and it's a two-position. The first position is climbing mode. The second position is total lockout. I love handlebar controller, but for me this really didn't work out the way I perceived a controller should work. And I'll show you how it's supposed to work here. Okay, let me show you the first feature on this twin shot controller. You put it down in the first click, and that's climbing mode. So while you're climbing, your fork's supposed to compress down but not rebound, and it's still somewhat active but is way stiffer than normal. And that's supposed to give you a semi-locked out lowered front end that's supposed to really help you in climbing. And then after your climb's done, hit the lever and you pop back up to full height. I tried this a bunch trying to see if it was going to work for me. I'm a real lightweight rider, and not what I was looking for. I mean, I can see a lot of uses for handlebar controlling, but this is not one. What I found is in steep technical climbs, a lot of rocks and roots and stuff, I don't want my fork locked. I need it active to manipulate up over the rocks and roots and stuff, and with it locked it just bounces me all over the place. Not real functional. I did try it on a machine cut trail that had some real steep smooth climbs, and I could see a little bit of advantage on that with this, but as far as the lowering thing, when I'm in a steep climb, my front end gets pretty light, and so I noticed that mainly when I would click the lever that it would lock it out, but it really wasn't lowering because I didn't have any weight on the front to lower it, and I wasn't hitting anything to make the fork actuate. So it basically would take out any biopacing or pogoing while you're climbing, but the same thing would occur going to the second position, which is total lockout. And in total lockout, it is definitely total lockout. I want to talk about your dampening controls. The top blue knob is your compression dampening, and it makes a nice clicking. You can repeat your settings, dial in 3 clicks, get 3 clicks. You can see your twin shot goes to this middle knob, and then the lower knob is your rebound, and you can feel little notches when you turn that, and you could probably count those. Okay, it has nice control knobs, but what I've found, especially for myself, I'm a lighter weight 140-pound rider, that most forks are designed for the average rider, maybe 180 pounds, maybe 200 pounds, and the hydraulic dampening controls are way too stiff for my body weight, and I just can't seem to tune in a good ride. I mean, I've tried an inch, inch and a half, inch and 3/4 of sag on this fork, and still the small hits or harsh. I know the instruction manual says that you have to break it in for 20 hours. I definitely rode it for more than 20 hours, and I think all that does is get you used to the harshness, and you finally deal with it. But riding this fork, I could feel it in my wrists and in my forearms, especially on rooty, rocky, small hit type of trail. Now, on the other hand, on smooth machine cut root-free trails, this fork is totally awesome. You can tell how smooth it actuates, and it's very linear. And I guess that's the weird thing about it. You know, just riding along, I'd keep setting my travel indicating O-ring to see what I'm doing, and it'd be at half to 3/4 travel, and I'd be there. I don't even know what I hit to move it that far. But what I did find is on a lot of the G-outs and stuff, I would totally use all the travel, get it all the way to the top here. And then the big G-outs, I can definitely bottom this fork. So to try to prevent it from bottoming, I could dial up the compression dampening, but it's all catch-22. I dial that up to control the huge impacts, and then it's way too harsh on the low stuff. So I can never get to a happy medium on this fork, and I'm pretty sure it's all about my body weight and thinking that if it had a little bit thinner oil in it, maybe it would come together for me. Okay, the next thing I want to show is the DT Swiss through axle quick release. The through axle design is the only way to go on a modern fork. It's a hollow axle that goes through this fork leg and screws into your far fork leg, and you just screw it in or unscrew it. And the DT Swiss has this ratcheting quick release, so you can tighten it or loosen it and then park the handle in a position where it won't get snagged on anything. I always like to put my handle up like that, but I noticed while I was riding on this was that it would turn and no telling where it'd end up, and on sometimes it was ending up like that. And that's definitely a no-no. If you come along and snag some brush or vine in there, that could make for an exciting right turn. And apparently this fork is defective because the nut in the opposite leg is not locked in place. It just turns. Let me go to that side. So besides the problem of it turning, there's no easy way to hold it, to tighten it. It's almost like you need some kind of special spanner to go in here and hold this, because it just wants to rotate when you're trying to tighten. And this whole nut piece turns here. We had to like take some needle nose or something and get in there and hold that to tighten the skewer. I'm not sure if there's supposed to be a special tool to hold that while you tighten or not, but you certainly wouldn't want a quick release that requires a special tool to release quickly. Doesn't make sense. I know on my Fox shock it's a capture nut, and you can adjust where it lands so your quick release ends up where you want it, tucked in, which is not needed with the DT Swiss with the ratchet handle on it. So they could just have a fixed nut in there. So we're trying to get to the bottom of why that turns like that, and whether that's normal, and whether there's supposed to be a special tool or what. Overall, this is a pretty impressive fork. Unfortunately, I'm a little disappointed with the quick release issue and the ride quality issue for the lighter weight rider. The end. Don's videos.